So the membership of the Professional Skaters Association, the PSA, has voted to dissolve the organization. What does that mean for you? Hi everyone, this is Amy. Welcome to my channel. I want to be honest with you. I have mixed emotions about this whole thing. On one hand, I'm sad to see the end of an era with the PSA. On the other hand, I see potential for new opportunities for us coaches and our skaters. However, I do share the concern that we no longer will have a dedicated organization just for coaches. For us coaches, it means many changes are rapidly approaching. If you're a skater or a parent of a skater, there are some things that you need to know too. Today, I will go over everything I know. How did we get to the point where the world's most prominent figure skating coaching organization, which has served coaches for more than 85 years, is dissolving? I made a few other videos about this last year. Here's a quick recap. The responsibility for coaching programs was previously divided between U.S. Figure Skating and the PSA. But U.S. Figure Skating has decided to take over this entirely. Now the entire responsibility will be on U.S. Figure Skating. This transition brings with it a new coaching membership category and integrated coaching programs, education, and accountability into U.S. Figure Skating. They're developing a new coaching pathway that will provide education, engagement, and participation for coaches at all levels. Coaches will now have a core certification with training materials and will be assessed based on best practices for learning and training. U.S. Figure Skating is also creating a searchable database and providing governance and voting rights for coach members. Coaches will now have more of a voice and influence within U.S. Figure Skating. U.S. Figure Skating assures us that these changes will better provide support and opportunities for coaches in figure skating in the United States. If you're interested in getting more in-depth, I have previous videos, and I'm going to leave a link to the videos I did last year in the description down below. At this point, the transition has been in process for about a year, with U.S. Figure Skating rolling out its new core coaching certification in February. Then the PSA held a membership meeting, despite having a committee that was charged with figuring out a way for the PSA to continue forward. The PSA Board of Governors proposed that the membership approve that the PSA dissolve. The rationale for the dissolution was that after June 2024, without a mandate from U.S. Figure Skating for coaches to be PSA members, as has been the case for many years, the PSA board said it would not have a viable means to generate revenue, to produce programming, or even to maintain staff. The membership voted in favor of dissolution, which means that the PSA would dissolve. The PSA says it would continue to work to secure the legacy of the PSA within U.S. Figure Skating and other outside entities. PSA ratings will continue to be offered through June 2026, as U.S. Figure Skating may not have its new accreditation system ready before that time. The PSA's intellectual property will be preserved and will remain accessible to PSA members. Financial assets will be utilized for coaches and coaching development through the PS Foundation. The PS Foundation has a long-standing history of providing financial resources to coaches and performing skaters for educational growth, professional development, and financial aid for medical or aging issues. They tell us they're developing criteria for additional coach scholarships that will benefit coaches and performing skaters. Money would also be allocated to maintain the Hall of Fame, potential future awards, and etc. Additionally, the PSA has 80 years worth of memorabilia in storage, which needs to be organized, cleared out, and found a good home in a continued effort to preserve and protect the legacy of the PSA. The Board of Governors believes it's in our best interest to make the assets of the PSA and memorabilia as visible as possible to ensure that the PSA name and legacy live on in the public eye. I'm going to point out here that only 15% of the membership voted on this. That's only 568 out of 3,723. So 85% of members did not participate in this vote. Of the 568 who voted, approximately 75% of the votes cast favored the board's recommendations, with 25% voting no. The voting results are determined by a simple majority of members who voted. Sadly, when it came down to dissolving the PSA, only 15% of members voted. This brings us to where we are now. All coaches wishing to coach at sanctioned events such as official in-person and virtual test sessions and competitions outside of Compete USA or basic skills competitions after July 1st, 2024 must now complete the U.S. Figure Skating Core Coach certification and then join Coach I.C.E. That stands for Inspiring Coach Excellence. The messaging on this has been a little confusing as well. There are a ton of Learn to Skate USA instructors out there who think they now have to do all this. The short answer to Learn to Skate coaches is no. Unless you're coaching above the Compete USA levels at competitions, or you're coaching skaters through official U.S. figure skating tests. Learn to Skate USA coaches are not required to get the Coach Core certification and join Coach I.C.E. Basically, this new system replaces the PSA membership requirement and the CERs. The requirements for Learn to Skate USA instructors are just as follows. Learn to Skate USA instructor membership, completion of the Learn to Skate USA instructor certification exam, agreeing to the instructor code of conduct, and new is the waiver and release, medical consent, name and likeness release. For instructors that are over 18, you must also complete safe sport training and successfully pass a background check. Whether you decide to go the Coach I.C.E. route, coaches who teach Learn to Skate USA group classes must also comply with Learn to Skate USA compliance. However, it is recommended that you do your U.S. figure skating compliance first, that's Coach I.C.E., so that you're not prompted for the background check twice. I guess something in the back end of the system won't sync if you first do that and Learn to Skate USA. So if you're looking to do both, do U.S. figure skating first. Okay, so now, what is the Core Coach certification? This is an interactive online course and assessment that takes approximately 3 hours to complete. It is for both seasoned and entry-level coaches. So regardless of your coaching background or experience, you must obtain the U.S. Figure Skating Core Coach certificate to maintain your U.S. figure skating coaching credentials. This covers multiple facets that are critical to coaching figure skating, including coach and athlete well-being, coaching best practices, essential fundamentals, and general technique. It comes with a complete guidebook and resource list. Once completed, coaches can download a certificate and will be considered a U.S. figure skating core certified coach. You must obtain the core coaching certification before you're eligible to join Coach I.C.E., the new official professional development and education program that will open on June 1st, 2024. I took the Core Coach course and received my certification in February when it was first introduced. However, I've been told that there's many coaches out there that still need to take the course. I wanted to spread the word that they are advising against waiting to the last minute, as if there's a surge in simultaneous access, this could lead to technical issues. I mean, we know that U.S. figure skating's technical platforms are never 100%, so let's go in there early to avoid that. You're going to want to log into members only and click the new blue coach icon. There's a once-in-a-career fee of $103. Be prepared for the course to take around 3 to 4 hours. I think that's what it took me. You don't have to take the course in one sitting. You can exit the course and return to the same place you left off. The core certification has been completed on mobile devices, but they do recommend laptop or a desktop computer. They say that Google Chrome is recommended, as is a reliable internet connection. There are no CERs for this season. This once-in-a-career core coach certification is in place of your CERs. After you have your Coach Core certification and have renewed your U.S. figure skating membership, either direct or with your club, you will be eligible to join Coach I.C.E. This U.S. figure skating membership will replace the PSA membership. The membership includes the cost of your annual background screen. So again, for coaches who are both U.S. Figure Skating and Learn to Skate USA members, remember to join Coach I.C.E. first, which will cover the background screen, followed by the Learn to Skate USA renewal. This sequence will ensure that you don't have to pay for your background screen twice. Coach I.C.E. sign-up is expected to open early in June. And remember, that annual background screening does take time to process, so don't wait until the last minute to get the process started. To join Coach I.C.E., you will log in to Members Only and click the U.S. Figure Skating Coach blue button. This will take you to your profile. Under your profile, click Coach I.C.E., which will be below the Core Coach Register Pay button. Coach I.C.E. membership will cost $250 according to the materials that U.S. Figure Skating has provided. That does include your background check, continuing education units, the coach directory, which displays your accomplishments, virtual seminars, webinars, and workshops, as well as e-learning courses, and the Coach's Video Vault, which I assume is a rebrand of PSA TV, and also includes a coach information e-newsletter that they say will come out twice monthly. But it does not include the Core Coach certification, which is $103, your U.S. Figure Skating membership, which depends on your club, your Learn to Skate USA membership, and your liability insurance, which we don't have a projected cost for yet. They tell us that they're diligently negotiating with insurance providers to offer coaches with liability insurance at the lowest possible cost with the most robust benefits. For those of us coaches who are PSA rated, we'll be assigned a U.S. Figure Skating coach level equivalent to our previous PSA rating status. After we join Coach I.C.E., we can set up our new Coach I.C.E. profile and complete any remaining coach compliance requirements, such as the background check, Skate Safe, which is safe sport training, insurance, waivers, etc., which will be found in our members-only profile page under the Profile Compliance tab. Registered ratings will become Level 1 accreditation, certified ratings will become Level 2 accreditation, senior ratings will become senior accreditation, and master ratings will become master accreditation. How does this compare to what we used to pay? Well, in the past, we paid $85 for CERs, around $100 for our U.S. Figure Skating Club membership, $130 for a PSA membership, and $30 for our annual background check. So we're now paying about $100 more than we used to. But we used to have to pay $25 for our first PSA ranking to advertise our experience, $100 plus for virtual workshops, and $15 per webinar beyond the first 3. They tell us that all digital learning opportunities, including continuing education units, are now included. And next year, coaches will not pay for continuing coaching education units. What do you think of all this? Leave me a comment down below and let me know. Honestly, I want to hear what you have to say. You can read more about the upcoming U.S. Figure Skating coach requirements, education, and more at usfigureskating.org/support/coach. And I have links to my previous videos about this topic below. If this video helped you, please give it a like and share it with somebody else you think it could help. Just post it to your social media too. I make videos that can help you with your coaching and your skating. So be sure to subscribe and ring that bell so that you never miss a video. This is Amy. Happy skating and happy coaching. I will see you real soon. Thank you for watching. Bye.